The numbers have not been kind for AEW in the year 2024. They certainly haven't been killing it with the viewership. In fact, some people would argue they are getting killed right now in the ratings. But not according to Tony Khan, because he believes that there are people in television that would kill to have AEW's viewership numbers. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling and Tony Khan. The Can Man, the Con Man. I mean, this guy can spin anything and try to turn it into an AEW positive. Speaking about television and numbers, I think this guy would have been well suited in Better Call Saul. I could have imagined him being some sort of like corrupt defense lawyer, because in another world, Tony Khan would make a good lawyer. He would make a good salesman because he's full of shit. He talks, he spins, he twists things in order to make it look good for AEW and bad for everyone else. Tony Khan claims that people would kill to have AEW's numbers, but you've got to look at the context. You could say that about anything. I mean, you could have a shit job, you could have a shitty apartment, but you could walk down the street and look at some homeless guy and you could say, he would kill to have my life. I mean, yes, but that's because you're picking on someone who's at the bottom. Tony Khan is looking at television shows that are struggling, and he is saying that AEW have got a lot bigger viewership numbers than them, and that TV program would kill to be in AEW's position. I mean, you could argue that's true, but there is television shows that dwarf AEW that I'm sure Tony Khan would kill to be in their position. So I mean, apples and oranges here, and what does it really matter about other shows and their numbers? This is just deflecting from the fact that AEW's numbers right now suck. They absolutely suck. Just because they're higher than something that's been on for like 30 years and it's currently on a rerun, just because AEW can get bigger numbers than some shitty show that nobody's heard of, that doesn't mean AEW's doing good. That doesn't mean it's in a great position because there's people that are envious of 600k on a Wednesday night. Not at all. So Tony Khan was speaking with his two buddies, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, so of course he's not going to get called out. They're not going to call him out on his bullshit. So he was on F4Wonline.com, and this is what he said about television viewership numbers in 2024. He says, quote, "The most important key point is, for us, we have had historically strong numbers and maintained strong numbers in TV. That is the thing we need to do. Keep doing what we're doing because the numbers that we have are good numbers. People at TV would kill to have. I really need to focus on doing good shows for AEW, not about what the competition is doing. In this case, our competitor going out ahead of us and getting good media right deals was a positive for us and is good for us because we have good historical comps. These comps are favourable for us. I've done a ton of market research and retained top analysts and data scientists." End of quote. I mean, Tony Khan here, now he's saying that WWE stretching their legs. He says that WWE getting better numbers now and advancing their lead over AEW is now good for AEW somehow. Then he says he needs to focus on doing good shows for AEW. Then why are you wasting your time talking to Dave fucking Meltzer? Why are you on time replying to faceless accounts and nobody's on Twitter? You should be booking good shows. In your own words, you should be doing good shows for AEW. Yeah, this guy will write essays on Twitter complaining to people that don't like his show. I mean, he's full of shit. Maybe if Tony Khan actually, did what he preached and actually did these things, then maybe AEW would be in a better place right now. But, I mean, he talks about focusing on good shows for AEW, yet he's too busy talking to Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. He'll probably finish this interview and then go on Twitter to see what people are saying negatively about AEW just so he can respond to them. I mean, it's kind of sad. But he did continue to talk more about the ratings. He says, quote, "Most TV shows would kill for our ratings and demos. In sports, we skew really young. It's important to focus on that. I think it's going to be a really good summer for us. We had really good growth through last summer too. Getting back to the best of what AEW does is important to me, and historically, we've done a lot of that in the summer. End of quote. So, Tony Khan believes that AEW is going to start getting higher numbers in the summer. I'm not too sure why he would think that. I mean, I guess there's less competition on in the summer in terms of sports, but right now the AEW product is pretty damn bad. So, yeah, they might have less competition, but I don't think they're the same size of fan base that they had in previous years. And I don't think there's any guarantee that we're going to see AEW's numbers rise through the summer. I don't think we're going to see this really good growth. He claims they had really good growth through last summer, but I would argue that was mainly because they had CM Punk last summer. And there was a lot of stuff going on. They had the collision going on. Punk came back. He was winning the championship. There was stuff happening last year in AEW. This year, I mean, not so much. This year they've done nothing. They've got a bunch of jobbers coming in for Japan and Mexico right now. They're heading into Forbidden Door that's just got no hype around it whatsoever. And they've just recently, a few weeks ago, recorded their lowest ever television rating. And if you look at the past 2 to 3 months, the ratings have been dipping down big time. They've went from probably being consistently about 850,000 for like the past maybe 10 months to a year, and now they're lucky. They're very lucky if they can get above 700k. So I'm not convinced. I mean, I don't think that we're going to see a good growth in the summer. Tony Khan claiming that people would kill for these ratings. Like I said, I mean, it depends on the context. It depends on who your competition is and who you're going up against. AEW, their competition, I guess, should be sports, should be WWE, because that really is who you're fighting for. That's who you're trying to wrestle away viewership for. I mean, it is what it is. We can claim that wrestling's not a sport, but people that watch wrestling likely watch sports as well. People that watched wrestling in the Attitude Era, when you had the most amount of people watching wrestling, they were likely fans of other sports like basketball and American football. So realistically, AEW's biggest competition is WWE, and then it's other sports. And right now they're losing to all of them. So, I mean, Tony Khan can compare the numbers to small TV shows that nobody watches just to try and boost his ego. But at the end of the day, I mean, who cares if there's some like new drama that's getting 50,000 views? Who cares if AEW's beating that? That's not their competition. That's not who they're up against. That doesn't really matter, it's not your rival. Your rival's WWE, your rival's other sports, and you're getting smoked by them. You would kill to have their ratings. So, yeah, I mean, Tony Khan, you got to appreciate the way this guy will try and defend himself, defend his company. It's kind of funny. I mean, he's committed. You got to give him that. He's full of shit, but, he is committed to the cause. Tony, he's a hard worker as well. That's the one thing with Tony Khan. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that he's lazy or he just tries to chuck money at things and that he doesn't care. I mean, this guy obviously cares. He does try, but he's just clueless, unfortunately for him. He doesn't know what he's doing. So, yeah, who knows what's going to happen in the summer. Tony Khan is expecting growth. I'm not sure we'll see it, but we'll have to wait and find out, guys. Till next time, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you see growth? And you know what? I could go through all these TV shows that are beating AEW. You've got like The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead has lost so many fans over the years, but still, their brand new show that came out, The Ones Who Live with Rick Grimes. I mean, that every episode beat AEW Dynamite and viewerships. And Tony Khan talks about shows would kill to have their numbers. Well, a lot of shows would kill to have a boost of like 100k, 150k just because of the show that comes on before Dynamite, aka Big Bang Theory. So, I mean, yeah, Tony Khan, I mean, you want to talk about numbers then, yeah, you're getting boosted by the Big Bang Theory, and there's plenty of shows on television right now that are destroying AEW, and you would kill to have their ratings. So, as what it is, guys, let us know your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.